The 2024 NFL Draft is getting closer by the day. So today on Steelers Talk, we're going to be breaking down 7 trade ideas for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move up, move down, trade for players, all these different things, all these different trade ideas for the Pittsburgh Steelers before and during the 2024 NFL Draft. Before we get into today's draft and trade rumors today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're just getting started with all of the premium draft content right here on Steelers Talk, leading up to the big day in Detroit, where we're going to be having breaking news coverage for every single Steelers draft pick for free right here on YouTube. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now for the latest draft news, scouting reports on all the top prospects, all the guys the Steelers are bringing in for their top 30 visits, positional rankings, weekly Steelers mock drafts, and guys, it's 100% free. So if you love the Pittsburgh Steelers and you want daily free premium content right here on the Black and Gold, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. So my favorite idea when it comes to a trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers before or even during the NFL Draft is to use their draft capital that they have at their disposal to go out and make a trade for all-pro wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. I've been saying it for weeks here on the channel. I think Aiyuk is a perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively. I think he'd be a great secondary wide receiving threat for Russell Wilson to utilize right next to George Pickens, of course. And I think that, but here's the thing, guys. I will say this. I don't want to overpay for him, all right? I don't want to give up multiple first-round draft picks for Brandon Aiyuk or something like that. There is a price that I'd be willing to pay, and this is the price that I would offer San Francisco if I were Steelers GM Omar Khan. The Steelers would receive Brandon Aiyuk. The Steelers and 49ers would do pick swaps in the first 2 rounds. So if you're the Steelers, you go from pick 20 to pick number 31 in the first round, and then from pick number 51 to pick number 63 in round 2, and then you give the 49ers the third-round pick, or the first third-round pick that you have this year at number 84. I break down this trade rumor in detail in my latest Steelers mock draft, currently on the Steelers Talk channel. I'm going to put the link to that one in the comments and description if you want to check out that mock draft from last week. Now, you be the GM. Let me know down there in the comments section, would you trade for Brandon Aiyuk if you had the opportunity to do so? Type T if you would execute the trade, or type P if you would pass and you'd rather take a wide receiver in the 2024 NFL Draft. Make sure you guys get down there in the comment section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. So now let's talk some round 1 trade up ideas here. And I only have one because personally, guys, I don't want to trade up in the first round of the NFL Draft this year, all right? I just don't see any of these prospects. I mean, it's a very deep offensive tackle class. I don't think any of the corners are really worth trading up for. And again, wide receiver is another position where there's a lot of depth, all right? So I don't really see the Steelers moving up in the draft like they did last year when they took Broderick Jones and they traded up for him. I really don't see that happening. But if they do trade up, it's probably not going to be too far. It's probably going to be like, oh, they have an offensive tackle prospect that they love, and they have an opportunity to move up a couple of spots, and the price isn't going to be too steep. I have the Seattle Seahawks as a potential trade-up partner here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Seahawks have a lot of needs, particularly on the interior of the offensive line. They probably want to get some more draft capital on day 2 here. So moving from number 20 to number 16, not that big of a jump. If you want to go to number 16 to take an Amarius Mims or a Talise Fuanga or maybe Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle prospect that you love, I'd be willing to give up number 98, that second, third-round pick that the Steelers currently have right now, in exchange to move up from 20 to number 16. Now, coming up here, I got round 1 trade down ideas because personally, guys, I think it's way more likely that the Steelers trade down as opposed to trading up in round 1 this year. But before we get into my trade down ideas, I want to tell you about today's sponsor at PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Or download the PrizePicks app today and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. Our friends at PrizePicks have specials for new and returning users alike for the start of the MLB season when you head on over to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the PrizePicks app today. Football season may be over, but the action on the diamond is just heating up. Get in on the excitement with our friends at PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your baseball knowledge into serious cash. That is, if you really know ball. The 2024 MLB season is now off and running, and you can pick more or less right now to make some money from the comfort of your couch while you watch your favorite team play. PrizePicks is simple. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can see my PrizePicks projection for today's MLB action. I'm taking the less on Ronald Acuna Jr. strikeouts. I'm going to take the more on Shohei Ohtani total bases. I'm going to take the more on Nasty Nestor's strikeouts today. So I really do appreciate our friends at PrizePicks for helping us out today. Get started now. If you haven't already, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the PrizePicks app today and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. You can pick more or you can pick less. It's that easy with our friends at PrizePicks. So let's get into some of these trade down ideas for Omar Khan, because last year he traded up for Broderick Jones. This year I do think it might be slightly more likely that he trades down from number 20 overall to potentially take a center at the later end of round 1 this year, whether that be Jackson Powers-Johnson, Graham Barton, whoever it may be. If they're trying to target center in round 1 this year, I think it's much more likely that they trade down in order to make that happen. Now, there's a lot of teams towards the back end of the first round that would want to move up to number 20 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, starting with the Green Bay Packers, who do have an additional third-round pick here. So I think that they would give that to the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 91 overall. So if you want to move down from 20 to 25, pick up an additional third-round pick, which would probably give you some ammo to maybe even move up in round 2 if you really wanted to. So this is definitely something I would consider if I were the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Green Bay needs some help on the offensive line. I think they would want to move up. Then we go to the second one here, and we know that the Bills need a number 1 wide receiver after shipping off Stephon Diggs to the Houston Texans. If somebody that they really love, like a Brian Thomas Jr. or an Adonai Mitchell or somebody along those lines that they believe can be a number 1 receiver right out of the box, I absolutely think that they would be willing to move up to number 20, and they do a pick swap here of sorts here, where you'd go from 28 to 20 here if you're the Bills, and then you'd also get the Steelers' third-round pick, second third-rounder, number 98. And if you're the Steelers, you move from number 20 to number 28, but you get an additional second-round pick for this year, number 60 overall, which might be pretty darn good for you if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you want to get starters right away here with this rookie class. Then I trade down number 3 idea here is with the Detroit Lions. They need a number 1 edge rusher. If Jared Verse, Leatu Latu, or Dallas Turner, any of those 3 are still on the board here at number 20, I do think Detroit would absolutely make this trade to move up to number 20. They don't have a lot of needs on their roster, but number 2 edge rusher is certainly something that they really want to go get. So here with this trade, the Steelers would move from 20 to 29, and they would also get a second-round pick from the Detroit Lions here. No, but the price that you have to pay here and the pick swap that you have to do is less, right? It's the 4th-round pick here that you have if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Instead of giving a 3rd-round pick to the Buffalo Bills, you give a 4th-round pick to the Detroit Lions, and you only go down 1 spot in terms of the pick that you're getting in round 2. Now, let me know down there in the comments section when it comes to these trade down ideas. Let's say Omar Khan is wanting to trade down and he has these 3 trade offers on the table. Which one are you taking? Are you going with the Packers one, type 1? Are you going with the Bills, type 2? Or are you going to go with the Detroit Lions trade idea here? Go number 3 down there in the comments section. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the possibility of trading up in round 2, because let's say they take an offensive tackle in round 1. They love the guy that they got, but now they want to go out and get their starting center for the future, or whether that be Jackson Powers-Johnson, Zach Frazier, Cedric Van Pran. They have their eyes set on somebody in round 2, and they want to move up to make sure they get their guy at the center position. I think this is probably the more likely trade-up scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd say round 1, probably not going to happen, but in round 2, especially if they trade down and get extra draft capital, I would absolutely think this is a possibility for the Pittsburgh Steelers in round 2. So I have 2 potential trade up ideas. If you want to really get up to the top of round 2, kind of at the beginning of round 2 here, you can trade with the New England Patriots. They have a lot of team needs. They are rebuilding. They might be looking to trade down from the number 34 overall spot. So it might be a little bit pricey here. You have to give up that second round pick. So pick swap in the second. Plus you could have to give up your first third round pick this year, most likely to make this deal happen. And then if you don't want to give up that much, I completely understand that. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer. All right. But it's definitely a lower price with the New York Giants. The Giants are another team that have a lot of team needs. They might want to trade down, especially if they don't move back in round 1 this year. So you can get pick number 47. So you just move up a couple of spots. But instead of giving up that first third round pick, you're giving up a 4th round pick at 119th overall. So between these 2 trade down or trade up ideas here in round 2, let me know which one would you rather do. Would you rather do the New England Patriots deal and get all the way up to number 34, maybe even be able to take Jackson Powers-Johnson? Or would you rather wait a little bit longer to pick number 47 with the Giants and maybe get a guy like Zach Frazier or something like that? Let me know down there in the comments section what you guys think. Would you rather pay more with New England or would you rather pay less with the New York Giants? And before I go today, make sure you guys let me know down there in the comments section which trade idea that I went over today was your favorite. Let me know. Did you like the Brandon Aiyuk trade? Personally, that's my favorite. I would love to bring an all-pro caliber wide receiver to the Pittsburgh Steelers, somebody that I know is already going to be really, really good in this offense versus getting a rookie where, you might think he's going to be really good, but he might take his lumps, all these different things. I think for a team that's ready to win now, getting a guy like Brandon Aiyuk is absolutely worth the price of those couple pick swaps, plus giving up one of your third-round picks. You're still able to address all the needs at corner and offensive tackle and center if you make that trade. So for me personally, the Brandon Aiyuk trade is my favorite. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section and which one was your favorite from today's show. And that'll be it for today's show, guys. I really do appreciate all of your support. If you want more content from me on Twitter, I'm one of the lead NFL draft analysts here at Chat Sports. So if you want some more NFL draft content or just plain up, straight up Steelers content, I got it on my Twitter and on my Instagram. I'm at Jack_Sperry on X, and then I'm at sparedog.football on Instagram. I really do appreciate all of your support. So if you want some more content from me, you can find me at Jack_Sperry on X or at sparedog.football on IG. All right, guys, I really do appreciate all of your support. Until tomorrow, man, tomorrow is Steelers Talk Live. Coop and I are going to be chopping it up with you guys with some great Steelers content coming your way. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now and join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest edition of Steelers Talk Live.